is Golden Dragon. It's an oolong. It's a roasted tea, and it's got kind of a sweetness like the Formosas as well, but more of a sort of fine tobacco, kind of roasted, full body, rich tea. The subject of our latest YouTube video, which should be uploaded, if not now, in the next couple of minutes here, because it's uploading as we speak. That is called What is Oolong? And we are doing our best to try to tell this story of what oolong tea is. And so yeah, it's kind of challenging. It's something that I've been working on for 20 years. So I don't know why it's still challenging, but I guess part of it is just that there is so much of a story to tell. All right, so the video should be uploaded now, I think, and so let's talk about a few things that are happening this week. On Saturday, they're closing the street here outside. Then we're going to have it's called the Friendly Street Block Party. And we're going to be sampling tea festival style, for about 5 hours or so, I think, maybe from noon to 5. And we're going to be sampling a lot of different oolongs, some pu'ers, and just a lot of different tea. So people can come in and do samples and try the tea. What else? That's pretty much it for this week as far as happenings. We're just going to be here working at the shop all week. And then lastly, we'll probably do a newsletter talking about that event coming up. But I'll just talk to you all about some of the things that we've been thinking about, like oolong tea specifically. And so, what is oolong tea? Well, a lot of times when people think about tea, they think of green tea or they think of black tea. Well, oolong tea is the range of tea in between green and black. So it's a really broad range of tea. There's so many different types of tea that we can say are oolong tea. Hello, Andrew. Yes, I don't have hair. You're correct. Very good observation, young man. So then so what else? We've got this range of tea that is oolong, right? It's an amazing range of tea. And where originally this tea comes from is southern China, but then it moved down into Taiwan. Now, after I lived in Taiwan for 6 years, we were drinking a lot of tea, right? So I was just like, kind of fell into the depth of tea culture. And this guy, Andrew, he's got a lot of funny jokes. So anyway, we were drinking tea all the time. And what happened is I realized that they didn't have this type of tea in the United States. So I started bringing it in. Well, 90% of the tea that is produced in Taiwan is oolong. And then we've got the 10% that is not oolong is typically green tea and black tea. So just, the significant exposure I had to tea in Taiwan was oolong tea. Then in America here, it was in the 1700s, in the late 1700s, people were drinking oolong, but they didn't know it was called oolong. They they didn't call it oolong. They were calling it bohei or some other version of variation of the wui. And the term oolong was first used here in the U.S. Uh, it was first used when it was in the mid to late 1800s, and then that was when this guy John Dodd, he was a Scot. He started importing significant amounts of oolong to the United States. And so, anyway, why would a person choose um, oolong tea? It's well, and like anything, it's about preference. And how do we develop our preferences? Well, it's just about what you're exposed to. So, yeah, one thing we've been working on a lot is introducing people to oolong tea. And yeah, so that's like at this tea tasting on Saturday, we're going to be cupping several different oolong teas. So come on by, we can do that. Um, what else? Yeah, like I said, that YouTube video, "What is oolong tea?" just dropped on our main channel. Um, you know, let's see. There's recently what's been happening in the United States is people have been they've been spending a little bit more on tea, but they buy a little less. So the national, like when they're doing their survey, they found that fewer boxes of tea are sold, but people are spending more per unit. So people are sort of moving towards higher end tea. And that's a great thing because when you drinking good tea can be so much more rewarding, and you can get more steeps usually out of good tea. You can steep it over and over, and it's a lot better than tea bags. This loose leaf tea, high quality tea, does mean you're going to have to invest in some teaware, maybe the the you know like an infuser, something like that. But when you switch to a little bit higher grade tea, definitely you're going to notice the difference. And but higher grade tea does cost more because it costs more to produce, and it's basically um, it is yeah. And now are you, Joshua? Are you conversing with Andrew? Or thank you, buddy. You're sweet. Um, just trying to keep track of the chat. Um, but yeah, man, I'm I don't have too much better to do with my day because this is what I do. Is I have a tea shop, and I basically I'm drinking tea. I'm actually this is sort of a highlight where I'm going to be brewing tea and drinking tea for the live, and it's kind of social. Um, oh, thanks, Joshua. You're sweet. Like I said, man, that Andrew guy, he does need to find some better use of his time. But hey, that's just what you have when you come on this wonderful, world of the internet. And so anyway, yeah, it looks like there's some few people viewing here. That's good. We're brewing tea, and let's see. I got this book here. This is a book I recommend for you, Andrew. It's backwards, I know, but if you can read Chinese, that's another thing you could do is you could spend some time to learn a language other than English. And this is Chinese. And in here, this is talking about how to you evaluate tea. This book is amazing. And I was going through it I'm not gonna lie, I was using like some Google Translate too, but that's okay. It's kind of a pretty amazing guide to evaluating tea, and I'm gonna start posting some of this stuff on our blog, or it might just be some of the material for YouTube videos. Meanwhile, we're just getting some orders ready here. We got recently this order here from a really great customer in Texas. We send tea all over the United States, and just in the US now, we do send tea to other places. Like we send tea to this guy in Qatar, and we send tea all over the world. But that just requires a little bit extra effort on everyone's part because I have to get the shipping taken care of. But when you order tea here, you get a bookmark. We put this in. This has got the Teapot Eugene here. That's a pretty. It's got a little map where our tea shop is, and we're gonna. I don't know. Is there a way to kick Andrew out of here? Jeez, man. Remove. Done. Andrew's gone. Okay. Dang, I think he is. Or wait, no, I just removed his post. Put user in timeout. Ha ha. 30 minutes. You're in timeout, buddy. Sorry about that, everyone. I'm just learning the technology, but next time I'll be quicker to put someone like Andrew in timeout. All right. Got a lot of hearts for that. That's cool. All right. Let's see. Where was I? Oh yeah, just getting some tea orders out to this guy in Texas. He's getting the Charcoal Spirit. That's an amazing charcoal roasted tea. This is the Cloud Peak, which we just got. This is a Lishan tea. This Lishan tea. I'm actually gonna brew some of that a little bit later because this one I'm brewing now. This is the Golden Dragon, and it's getting more towards that like tobacco-y note. Like it's kind of an intense flavor. And yeah, I'm kind of almost ready to switch teas here, but I probably will just do that after the session here. But yeah. Oh, what was really fun today is I had a tea farmer stop in the shop. This guy, he had a tea farm in Hawaii on the Big Island. It was called the Onakea, I think, tea farm. And he sold his farm. He moved, interestingly enough, to just up the river here from us in Eugene. It's called Leeburg. It's on the Mackenzie River. And so he bought about an acre, and he's just going to start farming and doing stuff there. But he can't really grow tea. But though he is going to try and grow a little bit of tea, but nothing like he was doing. And yeah, so what do we got? Allison Walker, Joshua Garcia. Appreciate y'all. And yeah. So what I'm trying to do here on the lives is Tuesday at 2. And then that's also when the new YouTube video drops. So we just did post that YouTube video, and it's called What is Oolong? And I'm actually pretty excited about the quality of this video, though I do still think it's not like as good as I want it to be. But I've been trying to improve on the production and creating better content. And one thing I did was in the beginning, in the intro, it has a tea leaf that's divided down the middle, and on one side's green and one side's black. And then it has an animation where that leaf splits, and then it shows the images of oolong tea, like to show that oolong's the tea in between this the green tea and the black tea. And so that's something that I might be using, either that or a version of that for our introductions which I'm pretty excited about. Finally, kind of starting to have a formal introduction to our videos. But yeah, there's a long way to go. And that honestly, that animation alone took me like an hour or two to figure out how to do. But you know, oh yeah, man, OJ, um, sweet, I appreciate it, man. What remind me? Is this um? I'm not sure. Are you? What's that guy's name down in California? Oh, Costa. No, I don't. I don't think so. Anyway, but yeah, feel free to let me know. We're just brewing tea. Nothing going on here. I'm gonna get some more. I am gonna get more of that Cloud Peak. That tea, it is a little vegetal, but the aroma, it's so good. I mean, that's a kind of an unusual tea. I'm definitely gonna get as much of that as I can. But I'm also going to check in with Taiwan, with this farmer in Taiwan to see what they recommend as far as like their sort of favorite teas right now. This is one of the few farmers that I can get tea from right now because they've always or they his daughter helped him set up this DHL account. If you're not sending tea via DHL or one of the other major, you know, commercial shipping agencies, you're not going to be able to send tea from Taiwan. And that's because the tariffs have made it so that the Taiwanese post office doesn't have the technology or the capability to accept the tariff. So they can't send tea, or I mean, they can't send anything to the United States, let alone tea. But for me, yeah, tea is the major concern. Sorry, I'm going to see. Um, What's the taste review? I mean, I will tell you it's amazing tea, but you have to be. I was thinking about this question specifically, not that tea, but like reviewing teas. The problem is I sell tea, right? So it's not really unbiased. If I was gonna go and blind taste other people's teas, I wouldn't want to do that either so much because I wouldn't want to necessarily say um, bad things about other people's tea. But but I'll tell you that this tea um, it has an intense flavor and it's an amazing tea. Like as far as the quality of the tea, if you like teas that have like really like a strong flavor, but also some sweetness and also like a really long finish, then it's a great tea. Um, I would say that it's one of the highest quality teas I've come across in probably in terms of oolongs specifically. It's one of the highest quality oolongs I've come across in a couple years. But it is of a specific genre of oolong, meaning it's a more intense, more robust flavor. Because if you were going towards like a high mountain green oolong, then I would recommend something totally different, like the Lishan pine, which we're almost out of. And then my second favorite, or maybe close second and third, would be Otter Rock Oolong, which is from Alishan, and then a Lishan Oolong that is, we've called it Cloud Peak. So, but the Cloud Peak has a very contagious, what's the word? Addictive. In Chinese, sometimes they'll say that word is, that translation is the same, like for something is super popular, then they'll say, "Oh, this cold is very popular." It means everyone has it. It doesn't mean you want to have it. It just means that it's super contagious, right? But the oolong that is just super addictive right now for me is called the Cloud Peak, and it's because of the way the initial aroma and the flavor hit me. It's just like so addictive. I just can't. The next day, I just want to have it again, and so that's a little dangerous. But you know, you could also, and that one does have like if you steep it like several times, it will have like a slightly vegetal note come out, and it's also very milky in the texture. So you know, whatever. But let's see. What the okay. I don't know. Yeah, and so I've thought about doing reviews, but it's tough because like I said, I sell tea. So I don't know how to do it in a way that wouldn't be just like, me being biased by like what I'm trying to sell. And like I said, also in terms of reviewing other people's tea, it's like I'm a little too close to the whole subject or whatever to I'd do tea reviews if I wasn't in the tea business, I guess, is what I'm saying. But yeah. Uh I would like to do tea reviews, but like I said, I can't really figure out a way to do it that is either ethical or like I could do it in an unbiased way. Um but the way I like to do tea reviews is to have tea tastings and then get a big group of people tasting the tea and then they are like then I see then I just sort of take the temperature of the room. Like it's like, okay, a lot of people like this one, whatever. That'd be kind of fun. I could maybe do like a 9 out of 10 people said yes to this or whatever. I could do like a flow chart of the different responses to oolong, different oolongs. Um, but again, yeah, that it's interesting because different people like different things, and so even when we're doing sampling tea at a tea festival or like a tea festival. Yeah, we're sampling several different teas, and sometimes someone will come and they'll say like, "Oh my gosh, this certain pour, this silver needle pour is just amazing," and then I'll be like, "Wow, that's super cool." And then I'll think like it will kind of like influence me. I'll tell everybody, and then that tea will start to move really kind of more. People will buy it, and then it might like 20 minutes go by and someone comes up and says something like, "Oh my gosh, that honey gold is that's the best tea I've ever had in my life." And then they'll start and then we'll start and then all of a sudden I'm like really pumped on that one and then people start buying that more. It's just weird. Yeah, like it just definitely goes in like a sort of a energetic kind of progression of the sales. But that kind of gets to my other point where we used to serve tea. We don't serve tea anymore except for when we do these tea tastings. And we did tea sells by word of mouth. Then interesting. Um, excellent. Thanks, man. Josh, you saw the video? Awesome. Um, yeah, appreciate it. But yeah, so I think like if you what was I talking about? Tea tastings. Yeah, it's just funny. Like when we used to serve tea, then people would come in. I had people helping me serve tea, here and stuff, and there was this one guy that worked here for like 8 years, and every Saturday we would just hold down this room and we would sell tea. We would serve tea to like Saturdays were busy. We'd have like maybe sometimes 50 people come in drinking tea and whatever thing was happening that day, like maybe it was a little bit cloudy, maybe it was like had just rained for 10 minutes or maybe whatever. But we somehow, me and this guy, we'd be like, "Oh, this is the tea we're into today." And then everybody that came in, they'd say like, "What tea should I get?" And we'd say the Golden Dragon. And boom, we would just and then everybody really liked the tea. Whatever, and we'd change it every time. But the thing is that that's what I would try and tell people that were new, that were working for me. is they would say, you know, because people come in here and they want a recommendation, and we wouldn't know, like, what do you recommend? Because it's like, well, there's so many teas, and I don't know what you like. Well, that's true, but here's the other thing: whatever you like, really like in the moment. Like for me, like it's like today, I'm thinking Cloud Peak. Even though I'm drinking this Golden Dragon, I started it off in the morning. It was colder, so then I'm like, it's Golden Dragon, right? Because it's cold. It's a little bit. Um, it wasn't quite as bright. It's kind of like darker. And then by the time it gets to be really bright and sunny, then I'm thinking it's Cloud Peak because it matches the weather. But that's about. Let me just see what this says here. I'm emailed. Um, I'm not sure. I'll be right with you guys. I'm not sure. Hey, Dylan. I'm not sure you have the right email address. It's Josh C, JOSHC at JTEAinternational.com. It might have slipped through the cracks. I haven't seen an email from you. Voicemail as well. You can call 541-357-5492. Let me make sure I got that right. 541-357-5492. Call me right now. I'd be happy to talk to you. I gotta go, guys.